before is now a crime.
We're live.
All right, I'm live, you're live, everybody's live.
We're live and
Today,
blasting off into space.
We're talking about space.
Space.
Sound good?
The final frontier.
JT, thank you for coming on today.
Hey, absolutely.
I brought you...
Oh my gosh.
Because you're a kid of the 80s.
I receive it. You know,
Yeah.
they actually make Oreos into space food.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so it even relates in that way.
I would even say I've eaten a ice cream bar that was space food that tasted like Oreos.
Were you in Houston at the Johnson Space Center?
No, I was at Hobby Lobby.
Oh,
They got them all at Hobby Lobby.
That's good too. All right, so a kid of the
Love
80s.
it.
I consider myself a kid from the 80s. And so we're going to talk about space exploration. Sound good?
Hey, take me there.
All right.
Let's blast off.
I'm gonna probably. Oh yeah, I'm gonna read the teleprompter here. You can have an Oreo too. If
Oh,
you like.
maybe I will.
The Texas space industry. So viewers may not know this, but Texas is going through a bit of a Texas space renaissance right now.
Whoa, tell
You
me
knew
about that, Mark. Tell me about
Hannah,
that.
you know about that. We just worked on a project related to this emerging space industry thing, and in researching for that project, we see that Mr. Bezos and Mr. Musk have facilities in the Lone Star
That's
State.
right. They're duking it out.
And then, of course, there's Houston, and Houston has several problems.
They've been
That was
duking it out for a long
That was a bad
time.
joke. Houston has problems.
Yeah.
Houston would have a problem.
You got to be careful with that
I
one.
know.
It's still
I love
might be
Houston.
too soon. Too
No,
soon.
sorry, strike it. I love Houstonians. I don't love Houston. Sorry. New space industry things might even be cooking right here in our town, and that sounds fun and exciting. But that got me thinking
Stay
about the
tuned.
design surrounding the space industry. All that great mid-century stuff, the classic NASA logo, and then the 80s version. And I think you, JT, may have even a few things to say on that topic as I wrap up the monologue. But first I want to say, Flight of the Navigator,
Ooh,
film from the 80s.
I remember that.
The
I always
Last
wanted to go to
Starfighter.
space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were reminiscing before this episode about just how great that was, this idea of being sucked out of your natural environment, put on a spacecraft, all
Having
the
the-
star charts
In your brain,
downloaded.
the
Amazing.
government coming after you and shooting bullets at you,
Totally.
and a spaceship saving your life.
Totally. So much fun. And then Max, the AI or
Oh.
the alien intelligence, it was super great. And then there was movies like The Last Starfighter. Super fun. But then, after thinking about all that, and probably because I was still driving around in my 1980s version Cold War Volvo station wagon, I got to thinking about what is propelling all this new interest in space. It has felt sudden to me. Branson and the tycoons driving their space tourism hype, China launching satellites that can capture our satellites, and William Shatner vibing out the window looking at the cosmos. This new excitement. What's the rocket fuel behind this sudden billions of dollars in yuan driving for space, space, space? Who really knows? I will hazard a few guesses because this is live from the bunker, and why not? It's the last episode of the month, which means I'm definitely hazarding things in the studio this afternoon. I'm hazarding guesses. Most definitely. Remember, this is a hot take, don't shoot kind of episode.
Right.
We're not
Hey,
talking
and
about
imagine William Shatner being in space and going, space. Wow,
Right.
this is awesome.
Yeah. I think that's what he was doing. I think that's what he was doing.
That's
last
exactly
week.
what he said when he was up there.
All right. So first, I researched a few bits about the mania, hysteria, thrill surrounding the very first moon landing, and I found that there was actually a counter-narrative to the big hype and excitement. There was a small number of dissenters who didn't like the idea of man defying our gravitational pull and entering the domain of the gods. By escaping our atmosphere, we were, they posited, overreaching our natural place in the cosmos. God had given us a design sphere in which we are to live and exercise dominion. And like the Tower of Babel, humans said, you remember what they said in Tower of Babel?
A bunch of things.
Yeah, they said a bunch. This is like Genesis 11 stuff. I got it right here so that we don't.
Oh, yeah. They wanted to build their tower to the heavens.
That's right. Come,
Be
let us
closer to
build
the earth, or
ourselves a
closer together.
city with a tower that reaches to the heavens so that we might make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building, and the Lord said, if as one people speaking the same language they begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them.
That's right.
So come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand one another. Okay, fair enough. That was the old story. So there were conservative voices during the 60s who said, this is not good. It violates God's cosmic order. And this is fascinating to me because I had only heard of the heck yeah, we put a man on the moon, tang, and I had only heard that part. I remember that the space race produced all of our hot new technology. It kickstarted the digital revolution. Ironic when you consider that satellites in the heavens enable instantaneous human interaction and Google auto-translates all those pages. It's kind of on the nose there, isn't it? Then, and follow the train of thought.
You still got me on Tang.
I know. I was listening to bands via YouTube. I know, but I do it all the time when I'm working on stuff. I should be, buying their music, but that's how I get introduced to stuff that I
Hey,
actually want to.
they make money off of YouTube if they're doing it right.
It's true. I'm just saying I want to support them. Do the thing.
Pennies,
Yeah.
pennies though, pennies.
And I kept coming across this ambient post-rock album stuff, playlists that are run by a bunch of internet doomers, and it clicked. Maybe the first wave of space exploration was about discovery and the delight of the possibilities found off of terra firma. It was a positive orientation to knowledge and the unknown. Huh? What do you think? Like, you got this post-war industry, and we can actually do things with rockets that we couldn't do in the past. Okay,
Right.
so, and now it's like the excitement of the great reach beyond. So,
Yeah. New technologies.
new technologies. So let's get philosophical now. I wonder if this more recent push isn't driven by negative orientation to our own planet. Hang with me. I mean that in several ways. A, the environmentalist message says that we've ruined this planet and we're not going to reverse this gross mismanagement because humans are hopelessly short-sighted, corporate greed, etc., etc. The list of anger and frustration bullet points for that point is quite long.
Yeah.
I won't delve into that here, just know that it is one of the many ways of looking at the need to jump off this rock. B, biological evolution and postmodern philosophy says simply living as big wet bags of protein.
That's right.
Our biology is all we are, so what can we do to disperse or seed the cosmos with our DNA? The species must continue into the millennia ahead, and the best hope for such a thing is to launch humans into the void. Again, because this world is screwed, or we're most likely going to blow ourselves off of our own planet. That's looking at you again, China.
The moon is going to hit us.
I don't know. C, the doomer playlist makers I mentioned on the internet keep talking about exhaustion with our Earth. It's a melancholy associated with overexposure to all the possible inputs and still finding the void within. I've seen everything there is to see on the internet, and I'm already over it. Perhaps the reach to escape our planet is also born of a kind of desperate rejection of the human experience itself on our little spinning rock. I suppose that what I'm getting here is that escaping our world has a lot to do with what we think of this globe, our place on it, and how we conduct our day here. My brother, who lives very, very far off in another state, he and his buddy, they're thrilled at the idea of space tourism. They can't wait. They're probably already saving money to make it off and to launch one day. Me, I don't care for it. I'll be perfectly content to never blast off from a launch pad. This Earth and the relationships here, the work, the wicked cool graphic designs, and the world maker himself.
Are you saying you don't want to go to space?
Yeah, I don't want to go. No. You would have to inoculate me, or not inoculate. You'd have to drug me like they did, like BA in the A-Team, to get me on a flight. That would be that kind of thing to get me into a rocket ship. All right. So where was I? This Earth and the relationships here, the work, the wicked cool graphic designs, and the world maker himself bring me enough delight on this green-blue planet that I never think, I got to get off this rock. That's just not a thing I think about. So, where was I? The historical design elements, bringing it back to design and creativity, the historical design elements associated with NASA are so fun. I'm going to link to a few of these things that we love. For instance, the Invisible Creatures design duo is a link you should check out. It felt so alive and intoxicating, and it evoked wonder. I'm curious to see what kinds of design emerge in this latter wave of space exploration. If it is built less on hope and more about escape, will it be as fun and inspiring? I don't know. We know so much more about our solar system now. The pizzazz just might not be there any longer. And done rant.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So you have a counterpoint, which is there's something that aches in the human mind that must go.
Yeah, I think there's a beauty, and there is definitely just a core to humanity to always to go and to explore and to conquer and to take dominion, and so I think this shouldn't push anybody away from that. I think people who have that deep desire to explore and who want to do exploration in space should pursue it full force, full-heartedly.
You were concerned I might be discouraging people like
Yeah,
Tyler in Miami.
Yeah, you don't want to discourage Tyler from being someone
buddy,
who goes
if
and works
you're-
for
if you're
NASA,
into
because
the
we want you to go to
engineering-
NASA,
Yeah,
and we want you to hire us to
For sure.
rebrand NASA.
for sure.
Because if you had to go in order, it'd be like Bezos, NASA, and then Elon, like in the order of design, for their stuff. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. Tyler, if you're into engineering.
Bezos just wants
go
to get
for
the
it.
heck off the planet.
Yeah.
NASA's like, no, we're trying to do this right. And Elon's like, let's take everybody up there. Let's go plan another city on Mars as soon as we can.
I'm afraid I'll disappoint him.
And let's put a flag on that planet.
Okay, so if it's about exploration and the
flag.
great reach beyond, right? And I'm reminded of Ronald Reagan's speech after the Challenger explosion, where he says the future belongs to the brave.
Yeah.
This idea that we're always going to be pushing to explore. I understand that. I get it. I'm just always curious. Like, I think probably with our deep space probes, we kind of have an idea that there is a lot of more void out there. Like,
there's a lot of empty space out there.
Is this about then harvesting like precious metals off asteroids? Is this
It could be metals off asteroids. It could be water. It could be, I mean, unknown elements that we don't even, know exist.
How much do you think the geopolitical, military?
Well, I forgot to let you know that I believe the Earth is flat.
Oh no, you don't. No, you don't. All right.
Is this a bad time to say that?
Maybe. I don't know.
Keep going.
Yeah, I was just curious if like the geopolitical stuff is driving a lot of it. Like,
I believe that it is too. I think that could be really on Elon's mind, but I think for him it's just exploration. And you can kind of see that because the way how he builds his stuff is he wants it to be reused and reused and reused, and so maybe that might actually lend itself to be more of trying not to destroy the planet or take too much from the planet. But
okay,
yeah,
fascinating. Well, maybe we can do all of our lithium harvesting off of planet Earth for all of our batteries.
An asteroid.
We have very big battery needs. All right, well, this concludes Live from the Bunker, and thank you, JT, for being on.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the Oreos.
For sure.
I love it, Mark.
All right, take care.